Hi, Claude Whitacre here. I'm a speaker. I give seminars and speeches and talks to groups of salespeople and groups of sales managers and people that own their own business. Okay, one of the books that I recommend, and one of the people that you should really study is Oren Klaff, and he has a book called Pitch Anything. And I've read the book, and I'm going to give you the message in one sentence. Okay, here's the book. There's a message in one sentence. You are the product, see? And you position yourself as an in-demand product. So in other words, when you're presenting your offer, doesn't matter what your offer is, I think Mr. Klaff sells, I think he gets loans, not loans, he gets investors to invest in companies. I think that's really what he does. So he goes into other companies and he pitches them on the idea that they should invest with his company or invest with a company that he's working with as a consultant. Well, there's ways of doing that. And so he's describing the way that he positions himself as the person that's in demand, and his offer is in demand, and he's in the leadership position. It's a lot of alpha male game playing kind of things, so that like if you're in a presentation and the person this is an example. This is a very minor and nonsensical example, but if the guy starts pushing something towards you, like there's creating a barrier, then you start pushing something back, or you move his barrier. If the seating situation, you don't want him behind the desk, you want him to come around to your way. If he says, well, let's go out to lunch or something like that, then you want to be the one that says no. You want to be the one that says, well, let's take care of business first, and then we can go out to lunch. Why? You want to be the one that's in control of that presentation, that control of that interview. Because psychologically, the person that is the one that's giving the directions is the one that's in control. See? Like if you have a folder sitting out and you put it out so that the guy you're talking to can easily reach that folder, and he starts to reach for it, and you grab it away and you go, not yet, give me a minute, okay, I'll give it to you when I'm ready. See, now it's kind of funny, and you have to say it in a certain way, you kind of have to laugh when you do it, that sort of thing, but it sets the tone for, I'm the one in charge of this presentation. See, now this approach is not for everybody. There are people that will find this approach slightly uncomfortable. I think it's wonderful, all right, but there are people that will find this approach slightly uncomfortable. It's more for bigger sales than I think it would be for, you're selling a box of soap. I think it's not for that. I think if you're selling something that's many thousands of dollars, this positioning is going to be much more important than if you're selling something very inexpensive. It's an approach that is different from approaches on consultative selling. It's different from approaches on spin selling. There's a book called Spin Selling. I don't know what it stands for. SPIN stands for something. Spin selling. This is a different approach than that. But it's a worthwhile approach. And if you read the book, and if you decide that this is going to fit your personality, and it fits the offer that you're giving to the people you're selling to, I would say this is more for business sales than it is for in-home presentations or talking to retail customers. It's more for that. But there's a lot of stuff in here that you can apply to any kind of selling. I just want you to know. So Pitch Anything by Oren Klaff, I hardly recommend it. It's one of the top 12 books that I would recommend out of a couple thousand books that I've read that are on selling and sales and psychology and how the mind and the brain works. It's probably certainly in the top 12, maybe in the top 5 of the books that I recommend. Why don't you go ahead and read it, and I hope you enjoy it. Okay, thanks. Bye-bye.